Hey guys, this is Review Destination and I am Chitej, and today we are going to do review of the Nokia 7 Plus. So let's get started. Let's talk about the design, and the design of this phone is actually really good. It's surrounded with copper, which looks really good, and the back is rubberized, front is glass. So in all, the build quality is decent. I really like it, and plus the copper frame which is on the borders, that looks really good, and because of that the phone looks catchy. In my opinion, the build quality is very good. So now let's talk about the performance. And at the time when I purchased this phone, I had high expectations with the performance because it had Snapdragon 660 and plus it had stock Android, and stock Android had made me purchase it. But now, like, I have used it for a month, and plus I gave this phone to my dad, and my dad is a very heavy user, and like he was really disappointed with the phone, and like I was also really disappointed because the software on that phone is like really slow and it's really laggy, and it has lots of glitch, and in between the phone freezes and just refuse to work. In dialer also, when you are typing some phone numbers, it stops dialing it, and while you are touching it just freezes. And in the photos app also, when you are just scrolling some photos, it will freeze by its own. So like, the software of this phone is really bad. So I was also really disappointed, and my father was also really disappointed with the software of this phone. So in all, the software is not that good. There is scope for improvement for Nokia. Now let's talk about the camera quality of the phone. And the camera quality of this phone is actually really good. It has dual rear cameras. One is a 30 megapixel shooter and another one is a 12 megapixel shooter. And the portrait shot also with these phones are really good. And like, in my opinion, I will give it 8 out of 10 because the camera quality is like really good. And the front camera is a 16 megapixel shooter, which is actually really good, and front facing selfies are also very good. And front camera also has a bokeh mode, so with both the cameras you get bokeh, so that's really good. But with the front facing camera, in some low lighting situation it has a bit of grain. Now I'll show you some camera samples which I have taken with this phone. So these are some camera samples which I have shot with this phone, and actually the rear facing camera in natural lighting conditions is really good. It is above its class, and I really like the photo which I have taken from this phone. It's a 12 megapixel and 30 megapixel dual rear cameras, and the camera quality is really good. And as you come to semi-indoor lighting conditions, it dulls it down a bit, and when you are in low lighting situations, it's pathetic. Now let's come to the front facing camera. Front facing camera in most situations is really good, but in really low lighting situation it's horrible, as you can see this picture. And now let's come to portrait shots. This is front facing portrait, and that's really good, and this is rear facing portrait. The portrait shots on this phone are really good. So now let's talk about the battery life of this phone, and the battery life is the highlighting point about this phone, because this phone has a 3800 milliamp hours battery, which is, for the size, it's really good. It's not having a 4000 milliamp hour battery, but you actually don't need it. As I told you, I had given this phone to my dad for 1 month, and he's a power user, and like he also liked the battery life. He did not like the performance, but the battery life was like really good. Every day he used to go to bed with 30-40% roughly, which is like really good. And like, when I also personally used it, I felt that the battery life is also really good, and plus it has rapid charging, so the phone also charges really quickly. So if you are a power user, the battery life is good, but the performance is a bit dulled down. So like, if you are like into gaming or a lot of photography, uh, the battery life will not disappoint you, but the performance will, because I told you that it freezes in between and it has lots of hiccups in between. So in all, battery life I'll give 9 out of 10. So yeah. So now let's talk about some good points which I liked about this phone. And good points about this phone are just the battery life. Battery life is actually really good, and the cameras. Both front and rear are also really good. Plus it has a dual tone flash, so the flash is also really powerful. And now let's talk about some bad points about this phone. Bad points about this phone are the performance, first thing, and the display. The display has a lot of bezels on top and bottom. Nokia could have reduced the bezel size. That would give this phone a really premium look. And actually, this phone has a lot of bezels, like maybe around 1 centimeter on the top and 1 centimeter on the bottom. So like that's really thick, and I really did not like about about that phone. So yeah. So thanks for watching, guys, and this is City signing off, and I hope to see you in my next video.